They say that if you ask, you shall receive, and that is exactly what happened yesterday. I was typing my wish list. I told you guys it was going to be a little ridiculous. I totally agree. And as I was typing it, my wife went into the office as I was editing the video, typing the wish list, and she saw that I wanted the Apple Watch. So she wasn't really using hers that much, and she was generous enough to let me have hers. So this thing is brand spanking new, no scratches, everything works. So we paired it to my phone and we got it working. So thank you very much, Cynthia, much appreciated. Today, besides that, we have an 8-color job. So I went ahead and took down all the screens that I had up on the manual, because I'm gonna take every single head and we're gonna fill it with the new screen. So far we have 4 that we have already burnt. Actually 5 of them. So we have 3 over there and we have 2 over here. Now the other 3, I ran out of high mesh screens. So this morning I came in, I reclaimed like the 5 left high mesh screens that I had. They're in there drying right now. We're gonna coat them so that they can dry again. And then after that, we're gonna burn them. But meanwhile, we already have the base drying over there, and we're gonna get started with the base. So we're gonna go ahead and set up that 8-color. It is a reorder, and I made my life super easy by putting it on the folder like I told you guys in the past. And that one is just a 1-color, so I didn't worry about it. But on the 8-color right here on the paper, I like to write what colors I used. So this is gonna be fairly simple. I don't have to be looking at older samples. I don't have to be looking at pictures to see what colors I used. So I make my life super simple by writing down exactly what colors I used for the first time that I print it once it gets approved. And after that, you know, all I have to do is go find the folder, pull the folder, burn the screens, get the colors from there, set it up, send the picture for approval once again, and start rocking. So that is the process of how I do it. I don't know how you guys do it, but for me, that's the easiest way to find the film and to know exactly what I'm doing. So let's go ahead and start setting up the base. After that, once the screens are dry, I'm gonna coat them, and then as I'm setting up, they should dry up so I can burn the other 3 screens, and I should have all 8 set up and ready to go. It's a 24 piece, so nothing too crazy, but it's gonna be really cool. So can't wait to show you guys what it looks like. All right, so that is the base. We just printed it. The white didn't go through on all the areas because the ink is still kind of hard and stiff. But once we get the flash warmed up, we're gonna get everything set up and lined up with the right colors inside, and the print of the base is gonna come out nice and smooth. So I'm not too worried about it. A lot of you guys ask me if I flash the Pel on before I tape it to set up the rest of the colors, and the answer is no. So what we're gonna do, this is still wet, and we're just gonna tape over it. We're gonna set up the rest of the screens on the press, and we're gonna line it up to the base. The reason why we tape it wet is because if we flash it, this Pelon tends to shrink a little bit, and it's not gonna line up with the rest of the colors. So we want the base to remain as the original size, and that way everything else is gonna line up to the base. We're not gonna have any issues. So just remember that. We're taping off. See? Treinta son 5 pacas de 6. All right, my friends. So what I did is I set up the 8 color because my battery was dying. So everything is all ready to go. I got the sample over there, as you guys can see, on the dryer. So what we're gonna do is, because we have the flash fired up, I just finished gluing the boards. We're gonna print a sample on the rag t-shirt, and then as soon as it's approved and ready to go, we're gonna knock those out. And you guys just saw the process of how it's done. You print the Pelon, tape the Pelon, and then you set up every other color to that Pelon. Once it's set up, you print that sample on the t-shirt, get it approved, and get it ready to print. So this is what it looks like when the whole thing is set up. That's the reason why we have the registration mark, so that we can line up the rest of the colors to the base. And that's not what the end result is gonna look like. I was just making sure that everything was lined up. The brown is gonna sit on top of the pink, and then the black is gonna sit on top of the pink and the brown. So we're gonna have a much better effect. Some of these are gonna be wet on wet. And just so you guys know, this is a very simple process once you start practicing how to set up a 1, a 2, a 3 color design. And then once you figure out how to set up a multiple color design, like a 2 or a 3 color, you can set up a 100 color design. It doesn't even matter, it's the same process. As long as you keep your registration marks, you tape your base, and you know, every time you set it up and print it, you wipe it off until you get it lined up, get it locked in. Make sure your screen is nice and tight on all your heads. Everything is zeroed out. If you have a micro registration, you know, you make sure that you have enough room to go up, down, left, or right. If you don't, you might have a more difficult time setting up, but at the end of the day, it's the same concept. And that's the reason why we put tape on the base, so that you can wipe off the image and be able to set up again until you line it up perfectly. So we're gonna go ahead and print that shirt sample. I'm over here warming up the board so I can grab a blank shirt and print it, make sure everything looks good. I taped off all the registration marks, and that is something that is good to practice, because a lot of people, they print their first t-shirt without taping off the registration mark, and a lot of times you can't blast it off and you ruin a shirt. So even before I print on a shirt from the order, I like to print a sample shirt, and for any reason, if I forget to tape off the registration mark, I do it right there and then, so that when we're ready to proceed, everything is nice and smooth. All pinholes are taped off, and all registration marks are taped off. So keep that in mind. All right, so I made a little tiny boo-boo mistake. I burned the tan color twice, so that's why we can see a lot of that pink. So pretty much this screen and that screen are the same. So obviously the tan is the correct one, the one that has the tan, and this one is just duplicated. So we need to, well, I already did. I burned the real coral color so we can put it on the press, and then we're finally gonna have all 8. It happens. So what happened was, when I was burning, I was fumbling around with the film, and I must have grabbed the same one twice. So just lost a little bit of time, nothing crazy, but I was going through my pictures just to make sure before I send the sample that it looks similar to the one I printed last time, and I was wondering why it looks so white. So I checked the screens. That one said tan, this one said tan, and pretty much like all of this is supposed to be covered in pink, and then the little bit of tan kind of looks like shading inside of the image. So we're gonna go ahead and fix that. I'm gonna show you the final result, the actual final result, and we're gonna go from there.
Turn it to $500.
But we're gonna laugh.
It will be double.
We're gonna have a good laugh, and that to me will be worth it.
Listening, make sure that this class of music is available to everyone here in the valley by making your gift now.
So we're here at the shop, like I said. I burned the wrong screen. I'm on the phone with iRock right now. He doesn't know what's going on because I just picked up the camera to vlog. But I found an old sample that I had in the bag, and this is the new one. So now they match. We're good to go. Get up there, iRock. Wait, hold on, bro. I'm not talking. No, you're not on the vlog. You're on my headphones. So there it is. This is the old sample. That's the new sample. It looks like they match. So I sent a picture to the customer. As soon as she said they're approved, we're gonna go ahead and run the order. It's a 24-piece, next level V-necks, 8-color front. Super cool design. I got a lot of good feedback last time I printed this one. I didn't put it on camera for the vlog, but this time I did. So I apologize for missing some of the parts, but you guys can figure out how to set up the 8-color from everything that I showed you. So I hope this was helpful. If it was, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. Check out my wish list if you guys want to buy something that's a crazy item from the wish list. I appreciate it. I already got somebody buying me the coffee cups for the Keurig, so appreciate that. And if you guys see anything else that you would like to see here on the vlog, then I would also appreciate that. One thing, everything that's on the wish list, just so you guys know, is to improve the quality of the vlog, and it's only to better the quality for the audience so that they can see everything in a much nicer environment, to make my life easier to edit. Some of the other things are just to make my life easier, and that's why I put them on there. It's not because it's a want, it's kind of like a need at this time. I just really can't afford it. All right, Rock. There you go. All right, my friends, to end this vlog, I'm gonna show you guys, I'm just gonna actually tell you guys the process that I'm doing to come up with this print. And pretty much what I'm doing is I'm printing down the base, I flash it, then I go ahead and print the blue, the red, and the yellow by itself. I flash those 3. Then I print the coral, this pink, flash it. I print the brown, I flash the brown, I print the black, I flash the black, and then I finish with the white highlight, which is the border of the entire design, and then like the little sparkle inside the rings and on the tips of the nails. So there's quite a bit of flashing going on this one, but thankfully I get away with 3 that are wet on wet, and that's gonna help me speed up the process. Thankfully, you know, it's only 24 t-shirts. If it was more, we would definitely run it on the auto. We have the 8 heads that are working, so that was not gonna be an issue, and we're gonna be able to pull 12 at a time. So in 2 rounds, we would have finished this order, but you know, we have the manual, it works, everything is good. It shouldn't take me that long to print 24 t-shirts anyways, but I just wanted to tell you guys the process of how I did it to print it. A lot of people ask me if I can do wet on wet, and the best I think the best situation is when you have high mesh screens. So I'm working with 200s and 180s, and that is why I'm able to pull this off. So I hope that was helpful. Let me know.